Namaste, my yogi friends, and welcome to Rhythm of Yoga. My name is Hannah, and I would like to talk to you today about my awesome yoga mat. As a yoga instructor and all the places that I teach at, I do often get the question of what kind of mat should I get for my yoga practice. I do teach a lot of different kinds of classes. I teach hot yoga, I teach beginners yoga, I teach Ashtanga. So I teach a lot of different styles of yoga. And honestly, my go-to, my favorite answer, my favorite mat is always my Manduka Pro. So I have this black Manduka Pro mat. And I can say, honestly, when I was searching for a mat myself, it was difficult. I had a hard time. I asked a lot of people. I asked a lot of places. I asked online questions all over the place. I checked and checked and checked. I am not a rich woman. I do not have a lot of money to spend. So buying a pricey mat is a big step for me. I don't want to waste my money and get something that doesn't really make sense for me. So it took a lot of research for me to finally make my decision. And when I did finally make my decision and got my mat, I can tell you honestly, it was one of the best decisions for my yoga practice that I could have made as far as a mat is concerned. My Manduka Pro is a nice thick mat, and that thickness is nice because whenever I'm on my knees, when I used to have all those other thinner mats, pretty much every other kind of mat that you can think of, if my knees were on the floor at some point in time, maybe if we were in runner's lunge and I had the back knee on the earth, I always had to get a blanket or a towel and fold it up and put it underneath my knee because it hurt so bad. And here I have that nice cushion that gives me the ability, I never have to use any cushion anymore, ever. And it's so nice and compact that you still have really good balance on it. So I've seen a lot of people who have knee issues or want that extra cushion and they have those really thick kind of workout mats. And those are really difficult to balance on. Those are really difficult to move around on. So this is nice because it's compact as well as very, very cushiony. I'm always incredibly comfortable on this mat. Other than that, I can say that I stick to the mat really well. It has really good traction. But for the type of hot yoga that I do, this mat without a towel works perfectly. And I am a sweater. Definitely a sweater. So I get very sweaty and I'm still able to stick to this mat. It's a really great mat to keep that traction, to balance on, to move around on. It's nice and big, so it has further distance this way and I think that way as well, which isn't such a big deal because I'm pretty short. But this way is just nice because you're not always constantly going off of your mat. So it's really nice. And I really love the way it kind of grips down to the floor itself as well. So it grips to my feet and it grips down to the earth. And I really like that because it's very solid and gives me a great foundation and I really, really trust in it. One thing that I really love about this mat is that it has a lifetime guarantee. So that was something else that really pushed me in my decision. As long as you're not probably working out on rocks or anything like that, then you're probably going to be able to keep this mat for the rest of your life. I've had this mat for about 2.5 years now, and I can honestly say it looks exactly the same as when it came out of its packaging. It is completely intact. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no dents. There's no little kind of wear areas or anything like that. It's completely beautifully intact. And I have seen a lot of different people's mats and my own mats back in the day that, toenails would take little gouges of those mats out, or they just start to wear so much that they start to fall apart. They're kind of disintegrating, and those mats can be nice for a little while, but when they start to fall apart and little particles are falling all over the place, then it's time to get rid of them. So I'm excited to continue to test this mat out with the test of time, but so far it is doing a phenomenal job. So that is my answer. When people ask, I truly, honestly enjoy and love this mat. I have not been asked by anybody to do this. It's simply because it was a question that I had starting out, going for maybe a little bit pricier of a mat. But like I said, something that's going to last me for a really, really long time. So I hope that was helpful to you. If there are any other questions that maybe I didn't go over about this mat that you might have, then please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, love to help you out. But as I've said before, this mat, I think for every practice, is just an all-around amazing mat. I guess one thing that I can say that might be the only negativity about it, which I think is just fine, is it is heavier than every other mat that you might be carrying around with you. It is 8 pounds, so you get your little workout before you come to the gym or the studio, and when you leave, just carrying your mat around with you. So that could be a plus, that could be a minus, that's up to you. But to me, it doesn't bother me at all. I literally work at 6 different places, carry my mat with me to each one of those places because I am not rich enough to have 6 different mats. So I carry my mat all day, every day, from place to place to place, back and forth. And it doesn't bother me one bit. I'm just so thankful to have this mat. I love it to death. So hope that helped. Again, any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here and watching this video with me today. And have a wonderful day. Namaste.